Hi students and friends, welcome to the channel Learn and Teach by Ayaz. So in this video lesson, I'm going to continue my CAIE 5070 past papers, and this time I have selected May-June 2022 and the variant is 12. I'm not going to read the instructions for this video as you all know the instructions. So straight away, let's start the paper. Number one, a student investigates the rate of reaction between calcium carbonate and hydrochloric acid. This is a conical flask and it's attached with a delivery tube, and there's a gas syringe in order to collect the gas. We have calcium carbonate solids in the conical flask and hydrochloric acid. The volume of gas in the syringe is recorded after 1 minute. The experiment is repeated using different concentrations of hydrochloric acid. Which additional pieces of apparatus are essential for the investigation? Balance, yes, we need balance because there will be a change in mass as gas is produced. Number two, measuring cylinder, yes, we need measuring cylinder in order to transfer the acid. Three, stop clock. In order to find the rate, we need stop clock to note down the or measure the change in mass or volume after certain time. So all these three choices are correct. So D will be the right answer for this question. Number two, which statement is correct? A mixture of liquids with boiling points which differ by 35 degrees centigrade can be separated by distillation. This is correct statement. You can separate the liquids with boiling point difference of this. They can be separated by distillation. B, locating agents are needed to identify the colors present in ink. In order to check the colors present in the ink, we need chromatography, but locating agent is not needed. Locating agent is needed only for colorless substances. Needed for colorless substances in the mixture. So this is wrong. C, the desalination of seawater to produce pure water is achieved by fractional distillation. It is achieved by simple distillation, not fractional distillation. Simple distillation. So this is also incorrect. The last one, RF value of a dye in a chromatogram can be calculated using the formula RF distance moved by solvent divided by distance moved by spot. This is wrong because the equation is distance moved by the spot divided by distance moved by the solvent. So this is also wrong. Only choice A will be the right answer in this case. Number three. Some reactions of an aqueous solution of compound X are given. When a few drops of aqueous sodium hydroxide are added, a white precipitate is formed. No extra information is provided. So we may have these three ions present in the aqueous solution: Al plus 3, Zn plus 2, and Ca plus 2. Statement number 2, when dilute nitric acid is added and the mixture is formed, a gas is formed. The gas decolorizes acidified potassium magnate 7. So this is a test for the sulfide ion, because sulfide ion decolorizes acidified potassium magnet. If this sulfide ion, the salt of the sulfide ion is SO3 minus 2, is warmed with acid, it will produce SO2 gas. So SO2 gas will be oxidized by potassium magnate. So we may have SO3 minus 2. When dilute nitric acid and aqueous barium nitrate are added, no visible reaction occurs. This test is for the presence of sulfate ion. So sulfate ion is absent. What can be deduced about the ionity of X? A. X contains only aluminum sulfate, Al2SO4 whole thrice. Wrong, because it must contains Zn plus 2 and Ca plus 2 also. X contains only calcium sulfide, CaSO3. Again wrong, because it's already written that the ions present in the aqueous solution is of Al plus 3, Zn plus 2 and Ca plus 2. C. X must contain aluminum sulfide, Al2SO3 whole thrice, or zinc sulfide, ZnSO3. This might be correct, but again, I can't consider this statement as the final answer. I have to look for the last statement in order to confirm my answer. X must contain aluminum sulfide, Al2SO3 whole thrice, yes. Calcium sulfide, CaSO3, correct. Or zinc sulfide, ZnSO3. This is the correct statement, only correct statement here. So only choice D will be the right answer here. 4. Which set of changes to the conditions increases the volume of a gas? Pressure decreases. Yes, it will increase the volume of a gas. Temperature increases. Yes, this increases the volume of the gas. Next statement, pressure increases. No, this decreases the volume. Temperature decreases. No, this also decreases the volume. Pressure increases. Yes, it increases the volume. Sorry, decreases the volume. This is wrong. Temperature unchanged. Unchanged means there won't be any effect on the volume of a gas. So this is wrong. D, pressure unchanged. Wrong. If you have pressure unchanged, how can you have increase in the volume of a gas? Temperature decreases. Yes, this is correct. Only statement correct is A here. Number 5. Ethyl amine gas, C2H5NH2 and hydrogen fluoride gas, HCl, react together to form a white solid, ethylamine hydrochloride. At which position in the tube would a ring of solid white ethylamine hydrochloride form? So we have C2H5NH2 and HCl. I am going to calculate the MR of both of these, so we can easily compare the movement of these gases along this tube. MR of C2H5NH2. We have 2 carbon atoms. AR of carbon is 12. So 2 multiplied by 12 plus we have 6 hydrogen atoms. Sorry, 7 hydrogen atoms. So 7 multiplied by 1 is the AR of hydrogen. 7 multiplied by 1 plus we have 1 nitrogen atom. So AR of nitrogen atom is 14. So we will multiply 1 by 14. So final answer will be 24 plus 7 plus 14 gives 24 plus 7 plus 14. 45. 45 is the MR of ethyl amine. So I am writing 45 here. What about HCl? MR of HCl. MR of HCl. We have 1 hydrogen atom. AR of hydrogen is 1. So 1 multiplied by 1 plus we have 1 chlorine atom. AR of fluorine is 35.5. So here the final MR will be 36.5. So I am writing 36.5. So definitely HCl will travel faster as compared to ethylamine. So A must be the final answer in this case. Number 6. Element X can be represented by the symbol X, 14 and 6. Small number indicates the proton number. This is the proton number. And this is the nucleon number. And if you look at the periodic table, 6 is the proton number of carbon. So this must be of carbon. Which statements about an atom of element X are correct? Number 1, it has 6 electrons. Yes, it must have 6 electrons. Proton number 6 means, and the particle does not carry any charge, so it must have 6 electrons. Number 2, it has 8 protons. This is wrong because proton number 6 it does not have any 8 protons. 2 is wrong. 3, it is an isotope of carbon. Yes, it can be isotope of carbon. The reason is that nucleon number is different. Nucleon number of carbon is 12. But here it is 12. Here it is 14. Number 4, it is an isotope of nitrogen. Wrong, because the proton number of nitrogen is 7. So this can't be the correct statement. Only 1 and 3 is the right statement. So C will be the right answer. 7. 2 isotopes of chlorine are Cl35 and Cl37. Using these isotopes and C12 and H11, how many different relative molecular masses are possible for the compound with molecular formula C2H3Cl3? So we have 3 Cl3. What are the possibilities? 3 Cls. Possibilities. All 3 will be of Cl35. Possibility number 1. Possibility number 2. All 3 chlorine are of Cl37. Possibility number 3. 2 are of Cl35 and 1 of Cl37. And the last possibility 2 will be of chlorine 37 and chlorine 35. So there will be 4 possibility for this one. C will be the right answer for this one. 8. Which row is correct? A. Elements, graphite, correct. Iron, correct. Compounds, methane, correct. Water, correct. Mixture, air. Copper, wrong. Choice B. Elements, graphite, iron, correct. Compounds, sand and water. Sand is wrong. Sand is also a compound and water is also a compound. This is also correct. Mixtures, air and brass, both are correct. C. Elements, iron, water, wrong. Compounds, methane, yes. Graphite, wrong. Mixtures, air, yes. Brass, yes. D. Elements, water, wrong. Methane, wrong. Compounds, air, wrong. Graphite, wrong. Mixtures, iron, wrong. Brass, correct. So we have only one choice correct, and that will be B here. 9. Which statement about ionic compounds is correct? They are all solids at room temperature. This is correct statement because all the ionic compounds exist in the solid state at room temperature and pressure. B. They all conduct electricity at room temperature. They do not conduct electricity at room temperature. We have to dissolve them in water or melt them. They are all soluble in water. This is wrong because most of them are soluble, not all. If you want, I can give some example. We have insoluble sulfates like barium sulfate. It's an ionic compound. It's insoluble. All carbonates are insoluble except group 1 and ammonia. So not all the ionic compounds are soluble. They all have strong intermolecular force. This is also wrong because they have strong electrostatic force. So only choice A will be the right answer here. Question number 10. A molecule of tetrafluorosilane SiF4 is shown in the dot and cross diagram. Only the outer shell electrons are shown. Which statement is correct? A. Each molecule of SiF4 has exactly 16 pairs of electrons. This is wrong. The reason is that they didn't mention that whether they are talking about the valence electrons or innermost electrons. So we have to include all the electrons in both silicon and fluorine. And you can't have 16 pairs of electrons. B. And SiF4, both the silicon and fluorine have the same electronic configuration as neon. First of all, I have to look at the proton number of silicon and fluorine. Silicon, it's 14. Fluorine, it's 9. 14 and 9. Silicon has gained 4 electrons and each fluorine has gained 1 electron. So let's count the total number of electrons for each of these. So both of these are different. So you can't have same electronic configuration as neon. Not both. C. Molten SiF4 will conduct electricity. This is also wrong because this is not ionic compound. So it will not conduct electricity. D. SiF4 has a low melting point. This is the right statement. The reason is that both Si and F are non-metals. So it's a covalent molecule. Both are non-metals. So the compound is covalent. Number 11. The table describes two properties associated with metals. Which row shows a correct reason for the stated property? A. Property malleable. Reason: the layers of metal anions can slide over each other. This is wrong. B. Property is malleable. Reason is the layers of metal cations can slide over each other. This is the right statement. But let's read the other statements also. Property conduct electricity. Reason: metallic structures contain mobile anions. Wrong. It must have mobile electrons, not anions. The last one, conduct electricity, metallic structures contain mobile cations. This is again wrong. So only choice B will be the right answer here. 12. Aqueous silver nitrate, AgNO3, reacts with aqueous potassium chromate 6, K2CrO4 to give a yellow precipitate. What is the ionic equation for this reaction? This is an example of double displacement reaction. So products will be AgNO3 plus K2CrO4 AgCrO4 Ag whole 4 Ag2 plus CrO4 plus 2 KNO3. Now balance the equation. So we'll get this. We know that KNO3 is the soluble salt. So both K positive and NO3 ions will be cancelled out on the left hand side as well as on the right hand side. We are left with 2Ag positive. 2Ag positive. You have to write aqueous plus CrO4 2 minus. This will be the charge on the polyatomic ion aqueous, and the product will be solid, which is Ag2 CrO4 solid. So only choice C will be the right answer in this case. 13. What is the relative formula mass of anhydrous sodium carbonate? Write down the formula and calculate the MR, and that will be the formula mass of anhydrous sodium carbonate. The formula of sodium carbonate will be sodium is in group 1 and carbonates carry -2 charge. Sodium, the charge on sodium is +1. Ignoring the charges, we'll get this. These subscripts will be exchanged and we will get Na2CO3. So I'm going to calculate the MR of Na2CO3. We have 2 Na. So 2 will be multiplied by the AR of sodium. In this case, the AR of sodium is 23. So I will multiply it by 23 plus. We have 1 carbon atom. So 1 will be multiplied by the AR of carbon, and that is 12. 1 multiplied by 12 plus 3 atoms of oxygen. So 3 multiplied by AR of oxygen. Oxygen, it's 16. So we have 46 plus 12 plus 48. If you will add up these values, 46, 12, 48, 8, 9, 10, plus 6, 16, 6, 1 carried, 4, 8, 9, 10, 106. So C will be the right answer. 14, what contains the greatest mass of solute? So first of all, you have to calculate the moles of each. In A, 100 centimeter cube of 1 mole per dm cube sodium hydroxide. So for sodium hydroxide, 1000 centimeter cube. 1 dm cube means 1000 centimeter cube contains 1 mole. Therefore, 100 contains x mole. So it will become x is equal to 100 divided by 1000. 1 by 10. 0.1. 0.1 mole. So you have to multiply 0.1 mole with the MR of sodium hydroxide. MR of sodium hydroxide is NaOH. 23 plus 16 plus 1, we will get 40. 40 multiplied by 0.1, we will get 4 grams. So here we have 4 grams. B, 500 centimeter cube of 0.05 mole per dm cube sulfuric acid. So first of all, calculate the moles of sulfuric acid. 1 dm cube means 1000 centimeter cube. 1000 centimeter cube contains 0.05 moles. Therefore, 500 centimeter cube contains x moles. So you will get x is equal to 0.05 multiplied by 500 divided by 1000. This is 1 divided by 2. So 0.05 multiplied by 0.5. 0.025. 0.025 moles of sulfuric acid. MR of sulfuric acid. MR H2SO4. AR of hydrogen is 1. 2 multiplied by 1 is 2 plus sulfur 32 and oxygen 16 plus 32 plus 16, 4 multiplied by 16. So we will get 2 plus 32 plus 64 and 98 will be the answer. Multiply 98 by 0.025. 98, 2.45 grams. 2.45 grams for B. C, 1 dm cube of 0.1 mole per dm cube potassium hydroxide. So it must be 0.1 mole. So you have to multiply 0.1 by the MR of KOH. MR KOH. K 39. 39 plus oxygen is 16 plus 1 is for hydrogen. So 39 plus 16 plus 1. 5, 56. So 56 will be multiplied by 0.1. Multiplied by 0.1. 5.6 grams. So far, this is the highest value. Okay, D, 2 dm cube of 0.01 mole per dm cube hydrochloric acid. So it means 1 dm cube contains 0.01, 1 contains 0.01, so 2 contains X. So 2 will be multiplied by 0.01, you will get 0.02 moles of hydrochloric acid. MR of hydrochloric acid, MR, HCl, hydrogen is 1 plus 35.5 for chlorine. You get 36.5. 36.5 will be multiplied by 0.02. Point 0.73 grams. So only C will be the right answer in this case. 15. How many tons of aluminium oxide Al2,3 are required to produce 27 tons of aluminium? Let's write down the formula first. If you will break Al2O3, you will get Al plus O2. Let's balance the equation. We have 2 here, 4 Al and 3 O2. We are concerned with Al and Al2O3. The MR of Al2O3. Aluminium is 27. So we have 4 multiplied by 27. What we will get? 4 by 7, 28. 4 to the 8, 8, 9, 10, 108. So 108 grams or 108 tons. Al2O3 and we have aluminium. How many? 4 aluminium. Sorry, this is for aluminium. $108 tons is for aluminium. I am writing aluminium 108 tons. What about Al2O3? We have 2 Al2O3 na? So we have 108 plus 2, 3 is 6, 6 multiplied by 16 is the AR of oxygen and we'll get 96. Add 96 to this, we'll get 204. 204 tons from 108 tons. So X tons from 27 tons of aluminium. Do the cross, we'll get what? We'll get X is equal to 27 multiplied by 204 divided by 108 and 1 and 2. So 2 multiplied by 27, we will get 54. C will be the right answer. We'll do this again. 27 multiplied by 204. 27 multiplied by 204 divided by 108. 51. Sorry, 51 will be the right answer in this case. from question number 16. So here's the question. Dilute sulfuric acid is electrolyzed, hydrogen gas and oxygen gas are produced. Which row correctly describes what happens? So during the electrolysis of dilute sulfuric acid, hydrogen gas will be produced at cathode and oxygen gas will be produced at anode. So automatically choice C and D are incorrect. So we are left with A and B. Both A and B is correct. But during the electrolysis of dilute sulfuric acid, the concentration of H positive ion will increase. So choice B will be the right answer for number 16. Number 17, aluminium can be extracted by the electrolysis of aluminium oxide dissolved in molten cryolite. Which reactions take place during the electrolysis? Here, you are provided with the reaction at the anode and reaction at the cathode. Remember, at anode, there's a loss of electron by oxide ion and gain of electron taking place at cathode by molten aluminium. Aluminium carries +3 charge and oxide ion carries O2 minus. So only choice D is the correct one for this, because the other choices are incorrect. We can't get aluminum at anode. So both A and B is incorrect. And the reaction for oxide ion at anode in choice C is also incorrect, because on the product side, you will get O2, not O. And also the reaction at the cathode for choice C is incorrect, because Al will carry +3 charge. Here, they have written Al plus charge. So the choice D is the correct here. Number 18, which reaction is exothermic? A, combustion of methane. Combustion of methane. Methane is hydrocarbon. Whenever you burn, combust hydrocarbons, heat energy is produced, and these reactions involve the release of heat energy to the surrounding. So choice A is correct. For your convenience, I am reading the other choices. B, cracking of hydrocarbon. This is wrong, because in order to crack hydrocarbons, we need to provide energy, which is an endothermic process. Choice C, decomposition of water into hydrogen and oxygen by electrolysis. So you are breaking water to get hydrogen and oxygen. So it is also endothermic, because it takes in energy. D, photosynthesis in plants. This is an endothermic process, because the plants make their food in the presence of light, which is photosynthesis. 19. What is the correct balanced equation in enthalpy change delta H for the complete combustion of butanol C4H9OH? First of all, combustion of butanol involves a release of energy. So delta H must be negative. So either A is correct or C is correct. Both B and D is incorrect. Now let's see A and C one by one. In case of A, we have C4H9OH plus 5O2 gives 4CO2 plus 5H2O. Now let's see the balancing of each atoms on either side of the equation. 4 atoms of carbon and 4 atoms of carbon on reactant side and product side, so it is balanced. What about oxygen? 5 2s are 10, 10 plus 1 is 11. So there must be 11 atoms of oxygen on right hand side. 4 2s are 8, 8 plus 5. 8 plus 5 means 13. So this is wrong. It's incorrectly balanced. So we are left with only choice C. Choice C will be correct. C4H9OH plus 6O2 gives 4CO2 plus 5H2O. Delta H is minus 2676 kilojoule per mole. For your convenience, I am counting the atoms on each side of the equation. There are 4 atoms of carbon on the reactant side and 4 atoms of carbon on the product side. So carbon is balanced. What about oxygen? 6 2s are 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. 13 atoms of oxygen on reactant side. What about product side? 4 2s are 8, 8 plus 5 is 13. So oxygen is also balanced on both sides of the equation. What about hydrogen? 9 plus 1 is 10. 5 2s are 10. So hydrogen is also balanced. So this is the right answer. 20. Bromate, bromide, and hydrogen ions react according to the equation shown. BrO3 minus plus 5 Br minus aqueous plus 6H plus aqueous gives 3Br2 aqueous plus 3H2O liquid. Some apparatus for measuring how the rate of this reaction varies over time is suggested. So there's no gas produced in this reaction. So automatically choice 1 is wrong. No need to use the balance. Here we don't have any change in mass. So only 3 seems correct to me because it involves the use of pH meter because there's H positive ion on the left hand side of the equation, which means the pH is low at the beginning of the reaction, and as the reaction progresses the pH increases. So we need pH meter for this. So choice D will be the correct one for this question. Number 21, 25 centimeter cube of 1 mole per dm cube hydrochloric acid reacts with 10 gram of solid to produce a gas. The solid is in excess. The graph labeled first experiment shows the volume of gas produced over time. Graph P and Q show the volume of gas produced under different conditions. So here's a graph we're getting for P and Q. Looking at this graph, we have to decide which is the right statement for this. Which changes in condition produce graphs P and Q if all other conditions are kept the same? A, P uses a catalyst and Q has a lower temperature. P uses a catalyst and they are comparing Q with P in a way that they are saying that it is taking place at low temperature. If you see the difference, this indicates there is a difference in the amount of reactant used. Difference is due to the different amount of reactant used, not temperature. It can't be due to the decrease or increase in temperature. So this is wrong. B, P uses 25 centimeter cube of more concentrated acid and Q uses smaller pieces of solid. So if we are using smaller pieces of solid in case of Q, it will take place at a higher rate and it will, the graph of for the Q will end up on the same line like P. As they are saying, P uses 25 centimeter cube of more concentrated acid. So this is also incorrect. C, P uses a higher temperature and Q uses 25 centimeter cube of more dilute acid. Now, in P, they are using high temperature. If you compare P with the first experiment, it can happen at high temperature. And in case of Q, there must be difference in the amount of reactant used. And they have mentioned this, that is 25 centimeter cube of more dilute acid. So this looks correct to me. For your convenience, I am reading the last statement. P uses smaller pieces of solid and Q uses larger pieces of solid. So the difference for P and Q. In case of P, they are using smaller pieces of solid. So it will take place at a higher rate. This looks correct to me. And Q uses larger pieces of solid. They are not telling in the difference in the amount of the reactant. So this is also incorrect. Only choice C is the right answer in this case. 22. Nitrogen dioxide, NO2, is a dark brown gas that decomposes as shown in the equation. 2NO2 gas gives 2NO gas plus O2 gas. The diagram shows a glass flask containing a mixture of the three gases. The mixture is pale brown. More oxygen is forced into the flask. Which color change is seen in the mixture? Now, if they are forcing more oxygen in the flask, so definitely the equilibrium will shift towards the reactant side. So there will be darker brown. The color will become more darker. So A must be the right answer. It becomes a darker brown. For your convenience, I am reading the other statements also. B, it becomes a paler brown. Paler brown means equilibrium will shift to the right hand side, which is incorrect. C, turns colorless. Again, it indicates that shifting of the equilibrium to the right hand side. This is also incorrect. D, there's no change. It's incorrect because the change will take place. 23. What is an observation of an oxidation process? Blue copper sulfate crystals turning to white powder when heated. When you heat blue copper sulfate, this is a formula of blue copper 2 sulfate. It is hydrated and it's blue in color. It becomes white due to the loss of 5 molecules of water. So it means there's not no oxidation taking place. There's simply dehydration process. So A is incorrect. B, copper being deposited at the cathode during electrolysis. This is reduction. This is not oxidation because at cathode copper gains electron. C, green gas being produced at the anode when sodium chloride is electrolyzed. This looks correct to me because that green gas is chlorine. Chloride ion, after losing electron, will produce chlorine gas, which is green color, and it is produced at the anode. And this is an example of an oxidation process. So this looks correct to me. For your convenience, I'm reading the last statement also. White precipitate forming when aqueous silver ions react with aqueous chloride ions. So this is simply the reaction between Ag plus and Cl negative ion to give AgCl. So this is also incorrect. Only choice C is the right answer in this case. 24. An excess of aqueous iodide ions is added to acidified aqueous potassium magnate 7. Which row is correct? So in this reaction, iodide ions is oxidized. This is confirmed. And the final color of the solution will be due to the formation of iodine. This is the reaction which will take place. And remember, this iodine produced in the solution will turn to brown. What will happen to potassium magnate 7? Potassium magnate is pink or purple in color. It will decolorize during this reaction. Decolorize. So either B is correct or D is correct. A and C is incorrect. In B, they are saying iodide ions oxidize. This is correct. And the color of the final solution is brown. So B will be the correct answer in this case. 25. When ammonia gas is dissolved in water, a reversible reaction takes place. NH3 gas plus H2O liquid gives NH4 aqueous plus OH negative. This is a reversible reaction. Which statements are correct? 1. Ammonia is an alkali because it produces hydroxide ions in solution. This is correct because it is producing hydroxide ions in the solution. So it means that ammonia is an alkali. Number 2, the pH of this solution is 7. This is incorrect because the pH of solution can't be 7 because of higher concentration of OH negative ion. The pH of the solution should be above 7. Number 3, adding hydroxide ions to the mixture at equilibrium produces more ammonia. This is also correct because if you will add more hydroxide ions, the equilibrium will shift to the reactant side, which means there will be more ammonia. So B will be the right answer. for this question. Question number 26. 3 dilute solutions of acid, each with a concentration of 0.01 mole per dm cube, are reacted separately with excess calcium carbonate until there is no further reaction. The same volume of acid is used each time. The carbon dioxide produced is collected and its volume measured. All measurements are at room temperature and pressure. So we have acid number 1, acid number 2, acid number 3. pH is provided. pH is 2, 1.7 and 3.4. Volume of carbon dioxide formed for acid 1 and 3 is same, but for acid 2, it's different. What are the possible identities of the acids? Look at the choices. In the choices, we have hydrochloric acid, HCl. We have sulfuric acid, H2SO4. We have ethanoic acid, CH3, COOH. And we have nitric acid, which is HNO3. We have 4 different acids. And if you look at the pH value, pH for acid 1 and 2 indicates that these are strong acids. So acid 1 and 2 must be strong acid. You can't have ethanoic acid as acid number 1 or acid number 2. For acid number 3, the pH is 3.4, which indicates the acid is the weak one, which must be this ethanoic acid. So either A is correct or B is correct. What I will do, I'm going to calculate the volume of carbon dioxide produced in each case. For example, if you react hydrochloric acid with calcium carbonate, CaCO3, the products will be CaCl2 plus CO2 plus H2O. Now you have to balance this equation looking at the formula. You have to place 2 before hydrochloric acid. Now it is balanced. So according to the equation, 2 moles of hydrochloric acid producing 1 mole of carbon dioxide. So if you look at the concentration of the acid, it is 0.01 mole. So I will write 0.01 mole produces X mole of carbon dioxide. So X becomes 0.01 divided by 2. So if you divide 0.01 by 2, what you will get? You will get 0.005 moles of carbon dioxide. What about sulfuric acid? Now, if you react sulfuric acid with calcium carbonate, here's a sulfuric acid. If you react sulfuric acid with calcium carbonate, the equation will be like this. H2SO4 plus CaCO3 gives CaSO4 plus CO2 plus H2O. Equation is balanced. So which means that 1 mole of sulfuric acid producing 1 mole carbon dioxide. So 0.01 mole produces 0.01 mole of CO2. This is for H2SO4. Look at the difference in the moles for produced by hydrochloric acid and sulfuric acid. You see, in case of sulfuric acid, it's 2 times. 0.01 mole is 2 times of 0.005. If you multiply by 0.005 by 2, you will get 0.01. So it means the volume produced will be double in case of sulfuric acid. So acid 1 must be hydrochloric acid and acid 2 must be sulfuric acid. You can't have nitric acid as acid number 2. I will show you why. If you react nitric acid with calcium carbonate, you will get CaNO3 whole twice plus CO2 plus H2O. Now balancing the equation, Now the equation is balanced. If you look at this, 2 moles produces 1 mole of carbon dioxide, just like hydrochloric acid. So it means the volume of carbon dioxide produced will be 0.005 moles, which is same like in acid 1, that is hydrochloric acid. So we must have acid 1 as hydrochloric acid, acid 2 as sulfuric acid, and acid 3 is ethanoic acid. This is the right choice for this question. 27. The steps for the preparation of a pure sample of sodium nitrate are listed. Number 1, titrate with dilute nitric acid until the endpoint is seen. Evaporate to concentrate the solution. Number 3, rinse out the conical flask. Number 4, add indicator. Number 5, pipette a known volume of aqueous sodium hydroxide into a conical flask. Number 6, cool and filter to remove crystals. Number 7, repeat using the same volumes of aqueous sodium hydroxide and dilute nitric acid, but no indicator. So we will start with step number 5. So I will write 5. After 5, you have to add indicator. Then we'll have 4. After this, we'll titrate with dilute nitric acid until the endpoint is seen. So it must be 1. After this, we have to rinse out the conical flask, must be 3. After this, we will repeat using the same volume. And then we evaporate to concentrate the solution, 2. And in the end, we are left with 6. So choice D will be the correct answer in this case. Number 28, a white compound is insoluble in water, which cations and anions could be present in the compound. You see in the question, they are saying it is insoluble in water, which means that it is not soluble. So the key is provided. If it's present, you write tick. If it's absent, you write cross. So we know that if a white compound is insoluble in water, it must not be of sodium. So either C is correct or D is correct. What about calcium? Yes, it can be calcium because some of the salts of calcium are insoluble. On the other hand, all the salts of sodium are soluble in water. Carbonates of calcium is insoluble in water. Nitrates of calcium is soluble in water. And sodium, we know that it's also soluble in water. So choice C will be the right one in this case. You can't have D as a correct answer because in case of nitrate, they have ticked it, which is incorrect. 29. The flow chart describes the preparation of ammonium sulfate. Air, element 1, Haber process. Element 3 is entering in Haber process and we're getting ammonium sulfate. On the right hand side, we are getting element 2 from air and we are bringing that to contact process and we are getting with element 4. And in the end, we are getting ammonium sulfate. What are elements 1 to 4? Now, from air, we'll get which element to react with which element of gas in Haber process. We are getting nitrogen from air. So I will write nitrogen here. And nitrogen is reacted with hydrogen. So element 3 must be hydrogen. In case of contact process, we are getting oxygen from air, which will be element 2. And we are reacting this oxygen with sulfur. That will be element 4. So only choice A will be the right answer in this case. Which row correctly shows the possible uses of sulfur dioxide and sulfuric acid? So sulfur dioxide is used as a bleach. This is correct. And sulfuric acid is used as battery. This is also correct. So for me, choice A is the correct answer. For your convenience, I am reading the other statements also. Sulfur dioxide is not used in killing bacteria and food. And sulfuric acid is not used. Some of the choices are incorrect. either for sulfuric acid or sulfur dioxide. So choice A will be the right answer in this case. 31, selenium is in group 6 and gallium is in group 3. Which prediction can be made from this information? A, gallium atom has 3 more protons than selenium atom. Let's look at the position of gallium and selenium and their proton number. Here is gallium, Ga. Proton number is 31. Selenium, group 6, proton number is 34. 3 and 6. So I'm writing group 3, group 6. And proton number is 34 for selenium, and for gallium, it's 31. So gallium atom has 3 more protons than selenium. This is incorrect. Gallium is more likely to form negative ions than selenium. This is also wrong because gallium is in group 3 and it's metal, while selenium is a non-metal. So it's more likely that the negative ion will be formed by the selenium. So this is also incorrect. C, selenium atoms have fewer valence electrons than gallium atoms. This is also wrong because selenium is in group 6, gallium is in group 3. The valence electrons in gallium is 3 and selenium it's 6. So only choice D will be correct. For your convenience, I'm reading the statement. Selenium has more non-metallic character than gallium. This is right because selenium is on the right-hand side of the periodic table. Number 32, which statement about some metals and their compounds is correct? A, calcium reacts with cold water but not with steam. This is wrong. Calcium is among the reactive metals, so it will react both with cold water and steam. B, lead carbonate decomposes at higher temperature than zinc carbonate. Look at the position of lead. Lead is below zinc carbonate, so the compound formed by zinc carbonate will be more stable and will decompose at a higher temperature than lead carbonate. So this is also incorrect. C, magnesium can be extracted from its oxide by heating strongly with carbon. This is incorrect. The reason is that magnesium is among highly reactive metals, so you can't simply extract it from its oxide by heating strongly with carbon. So only choice D will be the correct. I'm reading the statement. Pure aluminum reacts with cold dilute hydrochloric acid. This is correct because this among the more reactive metals. 33. The diagram shows an experiment to determine the percentage of oxygen in air. There is a bell jar, lit candle, and water. So definitely the candle is burning. It's reacting with oxygen. Candle is an organic compound, so it's reacting with oxygen. And as time progresses, the percentage of oxygen or the volume of oxygen will decrease. Which diagram shows the correct level of water after the candle stops burning? Now, candle stops burning means that all of the oxygen in the air will react with the candle. So C will be the right answer in this case. 34. The addition reaction between a hydrocarbon X and bromine forms only one product. Which compound is X? So we are getting addition compound between hydrocarbon and X. So it must be alkene. So addition reaction means it must be alkene. A, CH4. CH4 is methane, which is alkane. So this is incorrect. B, C2H4. It is ethene, which is alkene. So this looks correct to me. What about C? C is C2H6. It is ethane. Again, alkane. So this is also wrong. D, CH3OH. It's methanol. It's also incorrect. Well, the only difference between all of these and ethene is the presence of carbon-carbon double bond. In case of ethene, there's a carbon-carbon double bond. None of the other choices or the compounds contain carbon-carbon double bond. So the others do not undergo addition reactions. Ethene will undergo addition reaction due to the presence of carbon-carbon double bond. 35. A series of reactions producing the propanol from the naphtha fraction of petroleum crude oil is shown. Naphtha, This is naphtha, and we are getting this product, and after Y, we are getting this product. Product here, it's propene, and the last one is propanol. What are processes X and Y? X involves cracking. During cracking, we'll get alkane or alkene and hydrogen gas. So X is cracking. And if you react propene with steam, you will get propanol. So only one choice is correct here, and that is A. 36. The structures of 4 alcohols are shown. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 alcohols. Which statement is correct? A. Alcohol 1 can be made by the addition of steam to an alkene. You can't get alcohol 1 by addition of steam to an alkene, because alkene starts with ethene, in which there must be 2 carbon atoms. So you can't get this from alkene. Alcohol 2 can be made from glucose. This is correct, because alcohol 2 is ethanol, and we can get ethanol by the fermentation of glucose. For your convenience, I am reading the other statements. Alcohol 3 is renewable energy source. This is wrong. This is not renewable energy source. Alcohol 4 has only one other isomer. This is also incorrect, because if you change the position of this OH, you will get another isomer. So you can't have only one isomer in this case. You have more than one isomer for alcohol number 4. Number 37. Which compounds have the molecular formula C3H6O2? Methyl ethanoate. So I am writing the formula of methyl ethanoate. So we have ethanoate CH3 CO2 CH3. This is methyl ethanoate. And if you write the molecular formula of this, what you will get? You will get C3H6O2. So this must have this molecular formula. What about T2? Ethyl methanoate. Ethyl methanoate. So we have methanoate, and this is ethyl methanoate. So if you write the formula, again we'll get C3H6O2. So this is also, this must also have a molecular formula of C3H6O2. What about propanoic acid? Propanoic acid is C2H5CO2H. Again, propanoic acid will also have this molecular formula. So choice D will be the correct answer here. 38. An organic compound has an empirical formula CH2O. Which row shows a possible correct name and structure for this compound? CH2O. Methanol. The structure of methanol is wrong. So A is wrong. B, methanoic acid. Structure is correct. What about the empirical formula? Let's see the empirical formula. Is it CH2O? No, this is not CH2O. This is CH2O2. So this is also incorrect. C, ethanol. The structure is wrong, because the structure is of ethanoic acid. So only choice D is left, which is correct, ethanoic acid. And the formula is also correct, CH3COOH. Let's see the empirical formula. 2 carbon atoms, 4 hydrogen atoms, and 2 oxygen. So formula will be CH2O. So this is correct. 39. Which statement is correct? A. Complex carbohydrates such as starch are hydrolyzed to give simple sugars. This is correct. For your convenience, I'm reading the other statements. Fats have the same amide linkage as pteridine. This is wrong, because fats have ester linkage. C. Proteins and nylon are polymers formed from the same monomers but with different linkages. This is wrong. They are formed from different monomers but same linkages. D. Proteins are natural polymers and are also called polysaccharides. This is wrong. Proteins are natural polymers, but they are not called polysaccharides. They are called polypeptides. So only choice A will be the right answer in this case. Last, the repeat unit of polymer is shown. This is the repeat unit. Which monomer would produce this polymer? So I'm going to make the monomer for this. The monomer for this one will be either this or this. Or even this. So only choice 1 fulfills this. So choice A is the right answer in this case. Thanks for watching. Press like, share my videos, give comments. For more videos, subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon.